Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Brian O'Brien here. It is time for your nightly update right here on Facebook from 106.3 FM and, well, myself. Hope you're having a good evening. It is raining in the tri-state right now, and that's been contributing to several wrecks across the area today. We're going to do a couple of things. We're going to take about 5 or 10 minutes, maybe just 5, and update you with tonight's weather. Good evening to Shane and Paula, Jody, Shirley, Clyde, and a ton of folks who are online with us tonight. We have no emergencies. We just have, I don't know why I'm pointing at the screen there. We are just giving you updates from around the tri-state area. It's been a busy day as far as Middlesboro police are concerned when it comes to wrecks. So let's go ahead and get right into it for this Thursday evening. And this is the day before a big storm rolls into the area, and we'll tell you what you should be expecting in the next 24 hours for the tri-state area. All right, so I told you that wrecks continue to plague the Bell County area, but most of it is focused around Middlesboro today. There were 4 accidents. Early this morning, there was a non-injury accident on the Beltline involving at least 1 vehicle. Middlesboro police responded to the scene, and there were no injuries. Moments later, there was another accident near Hardee's on Highway 25E. An eyewitness observed one of the 2 vehicles with a heavily damaged driver's side. It was a white Ford Taurus. There were no injuries in that accident as well. Now, a short time after 4 p.m. this afternoon, a white 4-door passenger car struck a telephone pole on the Beltline. We happen to know the person who was in the vehicle. Her name is Kimberly Taylor. She says that she struck the basically the pole because it was either that or a truck that had cut her off. So she decided on the pole. He cut her off and she had to swerve, causing her to strike the pole. She says that the Middlesboro officers that were on scene and the eyewitnesses that came up to check on her were very nice, and she's very thankful for their help. At approximately 6:15 this evening, there was another non-injury accident in Middlesboro at the corner of 23rd Street and Exeter Avenue. It involved 2 passenger vehicles. The Middlesboro police say there were no injuries reported in that accident. Mountain Advocate is reporting that a log truck turned over on Trace Branch Road. Driver Walter Brown stated that he hit the brakes and slid onto the wet road, causing his truck to go into the ditch and flip over. There were no injuries in the accident. No other vehicles involved as well. And Tasha Stewart reported on that from the Mountain Advocate. Where do we start now? Today, the Harlan County Sheriff's Office arrested several people on drug trafficking charges. That's no news to this area, but I can tell you that there was a lot taken off the street. The arrest resulted from an undercover drug investigations conducted by the Harlan County Sheriff's Office. Narcotics detectives. Additional warrants are outstanding and arrests are pending. Now, 61-year-old Bill Robbins of Kaywood, trafficking in controlled substance, first degree, was arrested, along with 50-year-old Paul Swanson of Kaywood, same charges. Troy Engel, age 52 of Kaywood, had second degree trafficking in controlled substance. Sheldon Robinette, age 40 of Cranks, trafficking second. 30-year-old Adam Teague of Wallens, trafficking first. And Amanda Elliott, age 36 of Harlan, trafficking first degree meth. All right. Now, today, the Claiborne County Sheriff's Office in Tennessee, we normally wait and do our Tennessee news, but this involved a Middlesboro man. They announced the arrest of Richard Todd Neal, he's age 41 of Middlesboro, and 39-year-old Lucinda Rose Gordon. She's of Harrogate. Now, both have been charged with the possession of 270 grams. 270 grams of a white crystal substance believed to be meth in the ice form, a large quantity of pain medications, and 15 grams of marijuana. Also seized over $5,000 in cash. The arrests are a result of the Claiborne County Sheriff's Department and Sheriff's Deputy Seth Miracle. He responded to a complaint of a suspicious vehicle parked in a private driveway on Cedar Fork Road, northeast of Tazewell, yesterday morning. This morning. Neal and Gordon are charged with possession of Schedule II controlled substance for resale, possession of Schedule 3 and 4 controlled substance for resale, and possession of Schedule 6 controlled substance. Both are being held in the Claiborne County Jail. They have a pending arraignment tomorrow. Now, last night we told you about an accident that happened in the Bell County area in the Pine Mountain Estates. And basically what it boils down to is someone was on their way home last night and they ran off the road and struck, initially what the call came in as was a home. They struck a home. Well, what they actually struck was not the home, but if it had not been for their 1.5 foot, maybe 2 foot concrete porch, then the vehicle would have easily gone into the home where there were not only children, but there were parents inside one particular room. It would have done quite a bit of damage had that gone in. Now, we weren't able to last night, we were not able to last night identify who the person was because he was released pretty quickly afterward, but it was 35-year-old Timothy Jackson of Middlesboro. He was arrested for operating a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol or drugs, first offense, and it was Deputy James Talby who was on scene taking care of that. Also, the Bell County Volunteer Fire Department was there, and the Bell County Rescue Squad was toned out, but they were canceled because there was no entrapment. Moving on here, we also have... excuse me for a minute here. We have yesterday at 6:30 in the morning from Knox County. Knox County Deputy Claude Hudson received a complaint that Larkin Sullivan is his name, was intoxicated at the A&B Market in Gray and armed with a butcher knife. When Deputy Hudson arrived at 6 o'clock or 6:45 in the morning, he observed the man outside the market carrying a screwdriver. Hudson learned that the man went outside, leaving the butcher knife inside the store, and that they had locked him out of the market. Deputy Hudson arrested Larkin Shane Sullivan. He's 41, of Corbin. He charged him with public intoxication controlled substance during the arrest. Deputy Hudson found 2 small plastic bags of suspected meth on him, an open Suboxone strip, an unused uncapped syringe, and a spoon on his person. He was then charged with possession of controlled substance first, possession of controlled substance third, and possession of drug paraphernalia, and he is in the Knox County Detention Center. The Williamsburg Police Department is asking for the help concerning a theft in the Tractor Supply on Penny Lane. 2 people went into the Tractor Supply store Monday. They stole a mini bike and that was displayed right inside the doors. You know, when you go to Tractor Supply, you've got the carts, then you go in and you see the windmills and you see all the inexpensive tools, and then there's more in the back. And there's always something there. It happened to be a mini bike. The thieves drove away in a white 1990s 2-door passenger car with tape on the driver's side window. Police say the car may have had the Tennessee license plate 307838. Now, we have a picture of these 2 folks on our Facebook page, and we'll have it up on our website. We've been having problems getting our news onto our website. I think I've got that fixed, though, so we'll update the last 5 days or so. But if you know the folks that are in this particular picture, police are asking anyone with information to call 549-6017. That's 606-549-6017. Kind of disturbing news from WATE and Tennessee News. A Knox County, Tennessee inmate was taken to the hospital this afternoon after officials say she jumped from a top tier at the Roger Wilson Detention Facility. Sheriff's officials say the woman attempted to jump from a top tier in the facility just before 1 p.m. this afternoon. An officer tried to prevent her from jumping, holding on to her as she clung over the side. And she was able to jerk free and fell to the ground. While the officer held her, another officer actually had time to place a mat on the floor to break her fall, but there were still injuries involved, and she was taken to the hospital. So I believe the Knox County and several other jail administrators have been talking about this over the last couple of weeks, where inmates who are housed in facilities were trying to harm themselves. Some were jumping from bunks down to the floor, and some were jumping from the second floor down to the ground floor in effort to do what we don't know, but obviously to do themselves some harm. Pineville Independent closed tomorrow. Pineville Independent schools are closed tomorrow, and that is due to the outbreak of the flu. They've not only had several absences from students, but even teachers. 4 or 5, maybe even 6 teachers have called in. And at some point, you've got to say, that's enough. We need to let them get home. So tomorrow, no school for Pineville Independent schools. I believe also Perry County and Martin County are not going. But here's the thing. On Monday, there's also no school for just about every school in the tri-state area. I know that Kentucky schools are observing the Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It's a national holiday. So are banks, Social Security, federal offices, state offices. They will be closed on Monday. I don't know about Tennessee schools. But I do know the Virginia schools are also observing that day. We'll find out about that shortly. I know that Claiborne County is definitely closed on Monday due to the national holiday. Let me give you one more thing out of Tennessee news. In the early morning hours today, the Campbell County Sheriff's Office Special Weapons and Tactics Team executed a narcotics search warrant at the residence of 57-year-old Marvin Lee McGee. He's in La Follette. Now, the Volunteer Times reports that investigators with the Campbell County Sheriff's Office and agents with the 8th Judicial Drug Task Force, prior to the execution of the search warrant, they had conducted several month-long investigation into McGee's illegal sale of prescription narcotics. They conducted several undercover buys from McGee, and they recovered large amounts of prescription medication being sold by him. Investigators also located a large amount of U.S. currency believed to be the proceeds from the illegal sale of prescription narcotics. They seized vehicles and prescription narcotics, and he is facing several counts of the selling and delivery of a Schedule II controlled substance. Sheriff Robbie K. Goins says this is a case, this case is an example of the opioid, get the words out, Brian, problem that law enforcement and our community is facing. We are committed to working with local, district, state, and federal resources to wage war against the opioid epidemic in our community. Now, let's talk about weather, okay? There are several different models. They're all wearing nice blue dresses. No, several different models as to what's going to happen tomorrow night. 3 of those models differ significantly. You've got everything from the chance of half an inch of snow to 2/10 ice. I'm trying to be very careful with my wording here, not to scare anybody. And this is supposed to start sometime between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. for, we'll say, the border counties. We're talking about Whitley, Bell, Knox, Harlan, and Letcher. Okay? Further to our west, it should start somewhere between 3 and 5. Another model is showing that we could get, I'm just giving you the models now, we could get up to 5 inches of snow for the immediate tri-state area. That is possible. And then still one other model that most of the meteorologists are really kind of focused on is about a 1/4 inch of ice, which is significant, and then about 1 to 3 inches of snow. So here's my suggestion to you. If you remember how Monday went, when everybody was warned about the ice, and I think they paid attention, they just didn't think they should drive as slow as they should, and they continued to drive like it was a Sunday afternoon. Without being too dramatic, and I know it's going to sound like this, and you see the milk and bread and all that kind of joking going on, but because there is ice involved, there is an opportunity for power to go out. That also means that those who have to get the power back on will have to risk their time, effort, energy, and lives, which is what they do, to get that power restored. So, be prepared. And this is one of those be prepared situations. Louisville looks like it's going to get smacked in the head. Lexington, significant. But they're not going to be dealing with the ice like, extreme southeast Kentucky, upper east Tennessee, and southwest Virginia are. At this point, that's what it looks like. That's all supposed to come in tomorrow night. I would suggest having the candles. If you want to make, milk sandwiches, you're more than welcome to do that. But simply because there's been so many water problems lately, just make sure you got some bottled water. Now, Monday, as we were covering all the stories that were going on with the weather, especially in our area and in, let's just say, from South Claiborne County down to Knoxville, people were getting in accidents and they were pulling over, or they were just simply pulling over. They were afraid to even get out of their vehicles. They were afraid for 2 reasons. 1, you get out there, you slip and fall. 2, they were afraid because someone else may lose control of their vehicle and then slam into them as they're trying to get out. Those are very valid issues. So just be prepared with emergency stuff in your well, okay? whatever it may be that you think you need, make sure you have it. A blanket is first and foremost. Now, with all of this hype, please be careful. And I'm not saying that we have more credibility than anyone, but please be careful at the weather hypers out there. You have them, you know who they are, you know that they're there to try and get likes on their pages, and in the process, they're giving you information that might not be quite accurate. There are meteorologists who just love to push up those totals just so you freak out a little bit. They do it. They know they do it. We know they do it. And I would hope that by now, by 2018, we've learned some of those tactics. So just be very cautious. If you do not have to be out tomorrow night, honestly, stay home. It's not going to hurt you to stay home. Unless it's an absolute emergency, just stay home, stay off the roads. Here's another reason why. We've got a lot of folks who are out there to protect and serve, not just our police officers, but we've got, fire, rescue, EMS. Although when they sign up for those jobs, they know exactly what it is they're doing. Let's not have them out on the roads as far as you making a decision just to go and get something that you could have waited on. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, I'm pretty much done rambling. Appreciate everyone who's online. Don't forget your supplies for a beautiful, romantic, candlelit French toast meal. Yes, thank you very much. We just made a big bowl of homemade chicken soup, according to Dee Dee. Big hello to Margie. Better go get bread and milk. Don't forget your eggs, milk, and bread. Bread and milk, yeah. Does it include Claiborne County? Does what include Claiborne County? I'm not sure what you're asking there, Autumn. The snow and ice, it appears that it does. I'm seeing some bands that are going to be, like Guns N' Roses and AC/DC. I'm seeing some bands that are dipping down underneath the line here, going down as far as just north of Knoxville. Okay, the most popular forecast that I'm seeing that's going to be affecting is 1 to 3 inches of snow and 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch of ice and sleet. That's a lot. You think that's not much, but it is a lot when everything is coated. Okay, the line for the next section of snow would be somewhere around looks like North Laurel, North Knox, North Leslie, North Knott. Those counties right there is kind of where the line is for the 2 to 6 inches of snow and 1/10 of ice. And then in Lexington, Louisville, Moorhead, Ashland, they could be getting 4 to 8 inches of snow. So this is probably going to be one of those very significant snow events. One more thing, and I'll let you go. On Saturday, the high is only going to be 26 degrees, which means that whatever's here will stay here, at least for another day or two. And the next temperature, let me get back to our weather forecast here. The next temperature change that could melt a lot of this off should be Monday, because Sunday's only going to be 29 degrees. We're looking at a high tomorrow. Are you ready for this? We're looking at a high tomorrow of 57. A low near 24. So this cold front is going to come in and smack us in the head. Saturday, a high of only 24, low of 14. Sunday, there's a high of 29, low of 17. And then Martin Luther King Day, towards the afternoon, we have more snow coming in the forecast. People are off already. And then snow showers for Monday night. Do I see school for Tuesday? Maybe. All right, that's it. It's 9 o'clock. I should have been home by now. God bless you, each and every one. You guys really, you make doing what I do fun. And when it gets to the point where it's not anymore, it's time to go. One more thing. Mom's online tonight, and she says that we have had... What'd you have, Mom? Mom's up in Canada, and she just went away. Well, I don't know where exactly she went. It's not showing up on my feed anymore. Anyway, hello to my mom. Jason Parton, thank you about telling me about the rock. There was a fairly good size, I'd say about 2-ton boulder. Looks like about 2 tons. A 2-ton boulder that was in the middle of 74, Highway 74, just past Bell County Coal. So I'm glad everybody did not hit that thing. It was pretty massive. It wasn't one of those pebbles that falls down, but thanks to Jason, we were able to tell everybody. When is the snow coming? Michelle says tomorrow night. Hey, I have a broken leg. Is it safe to go to the doctor tomorrow? I wouldn't try and do it on a broken leg. But yes, Arkansas checking in there as well. Good night, everybody. I've run my mouth too much, and I'll talk to you later. You guys have a fantastic evening. I'm Brian for 106.3 FM. Where's my special music that makes it sound more important than it actually is? Hang on, let me get all the special music in here, and I'll talk like big-time DJs. Thank you for joining us on 106.3 FM WRIL. This has been Brian O'Brien for The Big One. We have news, weather, sports, high school sports, and a few other things going on, and when it happens, you'll know about it. You'll actually probably know before I will, and you'll be the ones to tell me. Have a great night. God bless you.
The word you say was just a waste of time. I'm so sorry, but you're drowning me. Here we go up and down. So sorry, but you're drowning.